We are there. Right. Well, hello again, my friends. And you are my friends. And welcome to your full-time match reaction show in association with Ipswich Buses. I will edit that first whole couple of minutes out. You'll never know it happened if you're watching us on catch-up. But watching us live, you will have. I apologise for our technical difficulties. We have got a wonderful slideshow coming, actually, for when that does happen. So, you know, we're learning as we go. But we're here following Ipswich Town 2, Barnsley 2, a match full of action points. Good decisions, bad decisions, boiling points, all sorts in front of the sun. Yeah. How did you see it, Alex, first of all?
Ref was diabolical, but then that's League One, and we've done that for 4 years, and we can't keep holding that excuse. You know, but at the end of the day, to anyone that's going on Twitter, going on their social media, kicking off about the fact that we got 2 point drop, would you have taken two tough away games that we won, and a newly relegated side? Would you? If I said to you a week ago, 7 points out of 9, you would have all taken it. So don't be sitting there acting all entitled. We got 7 points out of 9. We've done what we need to do. We'll go a bit Aki standing next week and shove it up his fucking arse.
That's a big claim, because we've not often gone to Accrington and got much of anything, let alone anything. And I'm quite surprised at this sort of reaction. I understand where you're coming from. 7 points from 9. And, you know, some fans can be
2 points a game.
It is 2 points a game, but how can we leave Portman Road today not angry, not upset? Not necessarily a football team that didn't see through 2 leads, but the fact you haven't got your 3 points, because champions are made on occasions like this afternoon.
We are, but you could have said the champion. We said the same thing about Burton away last week. Champions are made and not playing well and scraping a 1-0 win. We did it. We got a point off a newly relegated side. We would have done that 2 years ago. At the end of the day, you know, the refereeing standing in this league is abysmal. It is. But we can't keep hiding behind that fact, because it'll be abysmal 6 months, a year, whatever. You know, it's not going to change.
Well, yeah, as we were just saying here before the cameras could hear us, really, I suppose, is that they don't seem to get better the higher up they go. Just the video referee can occasionally step in, and that would have happened maybe this afternoon, do you think? Because that third goal that never was.
Yeah, that was a goal all day long. You know, Marcus Hart has done amazing things at this club, but at the end of the day, you know, 2 years ago, that I could have seen that being a 3-2 loss. It would have been a 3-2 loss.
Yeah, but 3 years ago, I didn't have Arsmere children, but I'm going to go home and try and feed them this evening. Do you know what I mean? Like, things change, time moves on. This isn't 2-3 years ago. This is Ipswich Town of new, and again today, Big Freddie didn't really get in the game.
For me, Freddie wasn't at it today. You know, I don't know whether he's the answer, whether we're playing him in the right position. You know, everyone that I speak to, Rob Brum said he's better in a 2, but we're not going to play a 2. So, but he doesn't look at it. And Marcus Harness is my biggest threat at the minute for me. Marcus Harness, Connor Chaplin. So, I don't know. I think you can't judge TJJ yet. He's had 2 games, in all honesty.
No, but he's young and he's a raw player. And again today, you see the goodness of him last week.
Yep.
And then the rawness of him this week, where he doesn't really get into the game. But
Freddie, I think Freddie needs a partner. I think you see.
But that's not going to happen, though, is it, Alex?
We're not going to play that. We're not going to play that. You know, so either he needs to up his game to play on his own.
It's tough, man, because he is feeding off scraps. But where I was going with the question was, obviously the window's still open. There's rumours rippling around Portman Road, even this afternoon. How much of a failure would it be at the boardroom level if we do not bring in a striker before the window closes? Because Caden Jackson, Cameron today did very well, but we are still missing that je ne sais quoi.
You've got to ask that and say, you know, you can say about failure at the boardroom level, but at the end of the day, you know, is there an out there that's going to make us better that we can get? You know,
both strikers.
You can only bring people in if they're going to make you better. And I trust in this ownership that I would rather, you know, if there's no one that's going to make us better, then I'll go with what we got, rather than bringing someone in for the sake of bringing someone in. You know, so I can say, look, I signed a striker. Look, I signed Macaulay Bonk because he wants to be here.
If it is Bomb, how would you feel?
If it is Bomb, we could have got him weeks ago. You know, so to me that says we haven't got someone else if it is Macaulay Bond. And not being funny, if the rumours are true, McKenna said to Macaulay Bond at the end of last season, you know, that you're not the striker I want, you're not playing the way I want to play. You know, if you're Macaulay Bond, would you want to come back and play for someone that said that to you in the last season?
Well, we're not a party to the conversations behind the closed doors. We don't know if that was one or how that went. We know, obviously, one today, James Norwood was a player not a part of the plans, be it at McKenna's or others. How did you see his cameo before I bring in Mr. Chandler?
If he was any good, he would have started.
Oh, it's a big claim, but it's good, and I love it. Alex, mine's a pint. Get it in, my friend. Richard, I'll bring you in. Passionate stuff from Alex, both before and after he could be heard by the microphone. But the people at home who are watching this catch-up won't know that even happened, so it doesn't matter. But we're just discussing the strikers. Ladapo first up. How did you see his game today?
I think he does an awful lot of work. I think he probably had his poorest game.
Had a great chance though, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think he needs to finish those, and he's clearly scored in the past in the Championship and in League One. He should be doing it. I think my biggest concern, we were just talking about over there, is that defensively we look proper ropey at times, and 2 set-piece goals when we've been in front, and still making errors coming out with the ball at times, and putting ourselves under pressure that we shouldn't be putting ourselves under.
It's a great point, and there's so many talking points that, you know, people were before the game were joking we needed a defeat for me to create some content, but there were so many talking points in that game. I could unpack it for days and days and days, and you brought up another one there, the 2 goals we conceded, both from set pieces. I have to see the first again, but the second certainly is Janoy Donatian's man, and for the first one, I don't think Janoy always cover himself.
The first one, Janoy's blamed himself afterwards, so that says to me it's Janoy's man again. And after the game, he looked like he was completely distraught.
And those are the moments that win you points.
Yeah. You know. And I just think I'm not so concerned about the striker thing. All of this stuff about we will bring a striker, we won't bring a striker. We're still averaging 2 goals a game. We average 2 goals a game. Like I said, we would before the season, just saying. Crunch.
Sam Morsey again popping up, by the way.
Yeah, and Chappers. What a free kick from Chappers as well. Special. That's a thing of beauty, that shot.
Special. I was just saying to everyone around me, we don't score free kicks. He hit it as sweet as a nut, and I said, goal. Because
the moment he left his boot on it, it was top corner.
Oh, it was a beautiful, beautiful finish.
And then KVY could have scored at the end. That was a fantastic save by their keeper at the end. And we should have had a penalty or scored, because there's no way that's not a goal for Harness.
No, and that's football, isn't it? Really, because obviously, you know, a week or so ago we're really giving Wharton the credit, giving us the points. Tonight, their goalkeeper's done the exact same thing. I mean, there you go. The old Bill have turned up. I'm not going to say what they've turned up for. It might be a referee performance or otherwise.
For the referee to get him home safe.
I mean, how did you see the referee today?
I saw him probably better than he could see, because I've got glasses.
I mean, just pan the camera round. Ipswich Borough Council, if you don't shut off Portman Road with stupid flower planters, that cop car can get through. Look at Michael. Michael now turning into traffic warden.
Move back, you melon.
I mean, I told you.
That's a piece of special driving.
You don't get this another podcast, do you? Well, you don't get this on any other podcast, Richard. There you go. I mean,
that's bizarre.
When you thought the excitement was finished.
Back to the ref. I think there's something wrong with football officiating in general in Premier League and Championship and League One. But part of the biggest problem is that if you're a crap referee in the Premier League, you get relegated to the Championship. So what are we getting in League One? We're getting the real rubbish, aren't we? And that's showing every week. Yeah. And then today, he just wouldn't make a decision. How many things of time wasting can they do from 20 minutes in? Their keeper for 2 or 3 minutes.
People will tell you that's a part of the game of football. And I will challenge that to the day I die, because the more football becomes a business, if you walked into Tesco and they refuse to serve you at 5:2 because they want to go home at 4 o'clock, you can't just down tools at 55 minutes, for crying out loud, and just start kicking the ball here, put it out there, go down with cramp. we need to start almost like a rugby rule, playing around these physios.
We were saying that where I was sitting with my sister. We were saying if you did that, if you can play around them, soon stops because then they're punished by the fact they've got a player. Oh, and also just one big shout out. Norwood was rubbish again today. He hasn't scored. He's done 7 games for them, and he got a yellow. And he tried to get himself into the bad books of Morsey, and right near the end there as well. And Morsey was just laughing at him.
Was it a goal or a yellow card every 2 games? He said he'd say. I wasn't quite sure. I can't remember. But yeah, less said about Mr. Norwood, the better. But I'm disappointed after today's performance. Not the performance, the result.
I'm disappointed with the result, not the performance, because I think they tried right up until the end and they nearly could have won it right at the end. I think we're still joint top. There's been some results that have gone our way, and it's early doors, but there's a 4-point gap between us and 7th already.
I like gaps.
And that's a big gap for only 6 games in. And there's teams turning over each other, left, right and centre. I still think we're going to go unbeaten until Sheffield Wednesday away, and I think that's probably our toughest game of the season.
Again, another fan perhaps overlooking the threat of Stanley. We know how notoriously tough that has been for us. That ghost
is going to get put to bed this season.
It needs to. It really does need to.
If we're going to get out of this league, it has to.
I agree with you. Man of the match before I let you go?
I'm a little bit biased because I've got Morsey on my shirt. I think Morsey's outstanding every game. I think Chapper's probably ran the show until he came off, so probably Chapper's.
Okay.
But I think you could give it to Morsey every game and it wouldn't be overlooked. It wouldn't be frowned upon.
Possibly so. Ben, I'll come to you. Morsey, man of the match for Richard. Thank you, Richard. Chaplin, run the show.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start with your thoughts post-game?
I thought first 20 minutes, I thought we were poor. First 20, we were poor. And then we grew into it. But I listened to McKenna's first pre-match on the way up here. He said we want a fast start. I don't think we've had a fast start in the first 4 games we've had. With Shrewsbury away last week. We've had a fairly fast start. It has been, MK at home is a fast start. Do you think Sam was right? Richard was right to give Sam the plaudits there for man of the match. I thought. I don't think he had as good a game as what people say.
Okay, he got the goal.
He did get the goal, but he was about 2 yards out with an easy tap.
Well, we've seen that. We've seen him miss 2 yards out with an easy tap in the last month. Conversion rate of 1 for 1 though, which is obviously pretty darn decent. Yeah. What about Connor Chaplin? Because a couple of games in a row now, you say lethargic. I say busy and on the ball at all times and willing to make things happen and be that playing between the lines, being that play between the lines. And I just feel we need to come up to a plan with how we replace him, because a couple of games in a row now, you've really seen the drop-off between Chaplin going off and insert player coming on.
Aluko.
I'm not here to say the names or otherwise.
And you can look at Aluko, Harness.
Harness was, he showed everything today. That was probably McKenna's one mistake of his reign, not starting Marcus Harness, because he came on and was different gravy.
Good.
Different gravy for me. How was he for you?
Marcus Harness, he can have the key to Ipswich for all I care.
McKenna's fault today, do you think, Matthew? Absolutely. Yeah, I really agree with you. Why would you not start your top goal scorer? It was a surprise.
I think early days, but I think Ladapo and Harness have got a very good relationship.
I think Harness can play with anybody. He's such a quality player.
If you look today, every time we went up to Ladapo, he was putting the balls into the pockets where Harness would be. You didn't get that with, who was playing number 10? John Jules. John Jules was playing left wing.
Yeah. I mean, he's a young player. He's a player on loan. He's raw. He's not going to get 90 minutes right every time.
Yeah.
You've paid good money for Harness. These are the times that, you want, as a home fan particularly, you want to see those type of players, the players you've paid a lot of money for, are the players that have proved it at this level. And, McKenna's a human being.
Yeah. He will learn.
Absolutely. He's a young manager, and perhaps that is the first point of that. And we never see a home game again where Harness is left out. But I just felt, as Matt said today, top goal scorer, to leave him out was a little bit strange. He came on and did what he had to do, though. It's very easy after the game to say, you shouldn't leave this player out, you shouldn't leave this player. But you've got to come on as a substitute and make an impact. And he did that.
Yeah.
third goal or the non-existent third goal? How did you see it?
That was a goal all day long. If anything, penalty to us. Because their defender got round Harness, brought him down, and then he slides in.
It's very tough to see how it's not a goal and how the referee is given what he's given. From what I can tell, he's claimed that Harness has pulled him back.
It was the other way round.
Which, I mean, there was something else on the other side of the pitch earlier on in the game where the linesman has flagged furiously and he's given it to them. Yeah. And it's like, where's Bones has got their fullback stride for stride? Why would he do anything?
There's no consistency in the officiating in any league.
No, there's absolutely not. Let's go over here to where Colin and Alex are, Matt. Get a couple of comments from the GOAT and Alex.
Oh, here we go.
Come
on. Have the Barnsley point of view.
Stand there long enough, Alex. We'll grab the man with 35,000 views.
Hello.
We want views, Matt.
We're live.
We are. We're always live. This is how we do it, and it's live. How'd you see it today?
Oh, mate, we should have won. Point to point, but I think these are the sort of points we need to be picking up if we want to be up there in the top 6. Referee, you can probably all agree he was a bit of a criminal, weren't he?
Yeah, I mean, not great decisions. The third goal we're just talking about, the non-existent one.
I heard that he got pulled. No, sorry, he pulled the Barnsley player.
That's what was given.
But I think it was quite soft. Should have stood, in my opinion. Because I think they're both doing a bit of pushing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Pushing and pulling. It is what it is. Hello, mate. It is what it is, isn't it? We move on to Accrington. Got to beat Accrington.
Will you be there?
I'm actually not going next Saturday.
No? What, have Rangers got a game?
No. No, I can't make it. I've got a family commitment.
That's fair enough. Two more questions. Man of the match?
I'd go Lee Evans.
Good shout. I like that.
I thought he was quality today, and I think he's been very good the last few games. Ladapo having a bit of a dry patch. I feel sorry for him. I think all he needs is a goal, and I think he'll get going.
How did he not score in front of the North Stand?
I know.
What's the question?
What's your favourite town chant?
Oh, I knew it was coming.
No, you've got to do it right. If you watched the channel before, you'll know what I'm going to ask you. What's your favourite chant?
What is your favourite town chant?
I've not got a favourite. I like the new Marcus Harness one. It goes, Marcus Harness, we've got Marcus Harness.
Look at that. It's hard, that question, isn't it? Yeah. Now he knows to ask him. Pass the question out to Go. Now over to you. Alex, we love you, appreciate you. Look after yourself. There's a car behind you, mate.
Hello, mate.
Don't get run over on my show.
How are you?
I'm calming down a little bit, but I'll bring the Barnsley fan in. And the Barnsley fan can debate with you. To see how you see it and see how you see it. Because there's two different views, I'm absolutely sure of it. So how do you both see the game?
Probably not. We spoke already, so...
Yeah, we came here with a game plan, and we was effective, and we've come away with a point, and I'm really happy with a point. This is one of the toughest places that you'll come in League One.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Am I happy with the point? No, I'm not. I'm not going to lie. We can say what we like about referees in this league, but we've been down here now for nearly 4 seasons, and nothing changes. So we've got to kind of start getting used to this kind of thing, what's going on, and kind of work around it. But your manager today, Duff, he came down here last year with Cheltenham. Done 9, apart from the fact it was 0-0. Done 9 exactly, we got a point. Done 9 exactly the same thing. I'm sure he tells his players. I mean, I know what Rich would say. It's part of the game, and getting the goalkeeper to take an age, taking goal kicks, and players falling down here, there, and everywhere. But we don't. We're not. I'm not saying we're not learning, because we have learned to a certain extent this season because of where we are and where we was before this game. But, I agree with what Tom said earlier. Tom said to me earlier, there'll be teams come down here and they'll get a right hiding. And there'll be somebody get a right hiding before long. Yeah, I wouldn't mind betting it might not be. I wouldn't mind betting it might be Bristol Rovers on September the 13th. Tom said they were up not so long ago. They got a nice stuff at 3-0. and that could have been kind of anything, you know.
I think if teams come here and try and play football, I think they'll get annihilated.
Well, do you know what, Tom? I said, well, we said this together, me, Rich, and Tom, a little while ago. I mean, I even think teams like Sheffield Wednesday, who are good clubs and good footballing sides, if they come down here and want to play, 9 times out of 10 we'll beat them. We're a good footballing side. We are a good, but we do struggle against these kind of sides.
Like today, Colin, like we were talking, weren't we, Tom, before about Duff come down here for Cheltenham last year. Pretty much the same game plan. Lose the ball, get people behind the ball, and make it difficult, you know. And that's football.
Yeah.
Not all teams are going to come down here and open up because, like you say, we will smash teams. If you come down here and try and play football, look, MK come down here, Colin. I said before the game, we'll beat a team.
And then again, for our second goal, you've let the smallest player on the pitch
twice
just head the ball
2 headers.
into the net.
It's very bizarre.
2 headers you've given in.
And Aitchison, who scored the first goal,
it's not
he's small
excusable.
as well.
You can't excuse that. You really can't. Not you know. I know we're in the 3rd division of the old football league. Like people like to call it the 1st division, and like, you know, it kind of sounds better. And it's not. It's the 3rd division of the old football league. That's what it is. And if you can't, you know, if you can't do basics at the 3rd tier of English football, you know what I mean? There's a lot of levels lower than this.
On a Sunday morning,
you know,
when you coach, if your centre half's giving 3 headers, you give him a bollocking.
Yeah,
exactly. It don't matter what level you play at, Colin. If you don't do your job,
it's pretty simple.
You've got
to mark players on the corner, and he was free.
I'll go on record as saying this because, you know, they'll say things like, you know, whisper things behind people's back. Look, how I saw it today. I am not anti-George Edmondson one little bit. I think he's a great bloke. He's a great footballer and what have you. But did I expect him to play today? No, I didn't really. I thought Burgess, he hasn't done nothing wrong. He certainly did nothing wrong at Forest Green. He certainly did nothing wrong at Shrewsbury last week. He was heading everything. He nearly got his head kicked off last week. Finished up with a bandage around his head.
That's what you need.
You know, next week, Rich is absolutely right. They'll need somebody 6'4" or 5" next week.
Mads.
Yeah. Just look, you don't have to be the best footballer in this league.
Totally agree.
For me, it was between him and the goalkeeper Brad for man of the match. I thought.
Great save at the end.
Great save at the end from Brad. And look, you boys were unlucky to not come away with the 3 points, the refereeing decision. But as I said to you, I think you should have killed us off.
Yeah, true.
We're not ruthless enough.
But another thing as well, like, to win this league, you've got to iron that out. You've got to kill teams that come here and do what we did today.
Thing is, though, Tom, you know, I know hindsight's a lovely thing to have, but I'll tell you what, if that decision went our way, game's absolutely dead and buried.
Well, what did you think about Norwood's return?
Fucking joke, man. That man, I'll tell you what, that bloke, I'll tell you what, he can keep spouting off all he likes about he can do this, do that, do this, do that. I put on the chat, and I'll tell you what, I don't care if James comes back at me, because I'll go back at him. He is, and he knows he is. He's played for Forest Green. He's played for clubs like that. You know what I mean? He's a bang average first division striker at best.
I hope
he knows that.
I hope he improves. I really hope he does.
I think he'll be in and out though all season for you. He'll play like a game here. I'll be very surprised, Tom, if he completes many 90 minutes for you.
Like another thing, like I'm happy with today. Like his best player, or who has been his best player since the start of the season, Benson went off injured. And we still need 3 or 4 more. So again, coming here and getting a point is massive for us. And it's like, the Barnsley fans are cheering, they got a point. Yeah, we are.
And I'll put Rich on the spot here, right? And I'll answer it as well. I think our question of whether, I know you do, Tom, you obviously need 2 or 3 players, which you've quite rightly observed there. But I'll tell you what, it is being highlighted big time today that we still need a striker.
Look,
there's no doubt about that, Rich.
I ain't writing Ladapo off.
I didn't say that, Rich. We need another striker.
Like I said to you, and I said to you, and people know, when he played at Rotherham, he played with Smith. He played in a 2. I don't think I don't think he likes that role on his own. I don't think he's strong enough. I think he needs to work a lot harder.
I must say, whenever
said it 100 times.
I've seen Ladapo for Rotherham played with Smith, I liked him. I thought he was good. I thought he was a good striker. But I totally agree with what you're saying. He's not a lone striker.
You go on YouTube and look at his goals, right? Last season for Rotherham.
Plays off Smith.
6 yards, 12 yards in the box. Where was he today? He had one chance second half down this end.
And he should have put that away.
Other than that, I don't think we get enough crosses in.
So I'll tell you something, Rich, about that chance. I was right under that. Right under that. I'll tell you what. There's a bloke on the back of my shirt. I'll tell you what. Look, we're never ever going to put Norwood and Mara in the same sentence because that will never happen, right? But I'll tell you what Mara's would have done there that Ladapo should have done, which would make him, a similar player as a number 9. Mara's would have went completely, not fouling him, but it have went through the goalkeeper. It had just took everything and it had made sure he put that in the back of the net. There wasn't enough there for me as regards how the percentage of what, how he wanted to score. That weren't 100% for me.
A question.
Weren't 100% for me.
How come Salina's not come back?
So he's gone to Turkey.
Has he really?
Yeah, he went to
playing in front of 2,000 people. Playing in front of 2,000.
He's a great player.
But divided opinion. I'd have took him back, but there's a lot of people said he didn't do enough last season.
Tom, he's playing in front of 2,000 people. You just said yourself a little while ago, 25,001 people there today.
I wouldn't be surprised if he come back next season if he got promoted. I think he might be a little bit of a luxury.
Well, is he a championship player?
I'd say he might be suited more to the championship than playing. Look, he's not here
because he's a footballer.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Rich, I've gone regular saying I think we get back in the championship. If when we get back in the championship, I think we could do better in Salina. I really do.
I just think at the minute, talk about getting back in the championship, getting out of this league.
Boys, I'm going to have to
shoot. Cheers. Cheers, Coxie.
Thanks a lot very much, boys.
See you later, mate.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Be good.
Care, mate.
Yeah.
See you later. Getting back to town, I think we're a quality striker away from winning the league.
Yep, I totally agree.
Well, we ain't going to get him. Colin said we should have smashed the bank for Clark Harris in the summer. And that is a fact Tom said as well. He would guarantee you 25 goals. And like McKenna, he probably want 5 or 6 million.
Josh, I'm going to answer the question that you didn't ask me, right? I'll answer the question that you was murmuring to Ben, right? If I got a lovely car, no matter what it is, over there, right? And you really wanted my car. You really wanted my lovely.
What do you drive?
I drive a Volkswagen Polo.
I'm not wanting a Polo.
But if you wanted my car, Josh,
I'm not offering you 5 million for it, Colin.
Josh, if you wanted my car bad enough, if say I wanted £5,000 for my car, if you wanted that, and I weren't going to sell, but you wanted that car bad enough, you give me £6,000.
You know what I'd do?
If you had the money, you give me the money.
You know what I'd do?
What's that?
I'll get in touch with Rylan. You've absolutely cinched it.
Yeah. Rylan.
But at the end of the day, Clark Harris, they wouldn't sell him to a team in this league unless it was absolutely stupid money. And he ain't going to go. So,
no.
But he's the type of player that he guarantees you 25, 30 goals. And at the minute, our goals are going to be spread out around the team.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree with that.
And
but yeah.
Go on, man.
Joe Pigott.
Yeah.
You look at what he was at Wimbledon. Would you partner him with the Dapper?
See you later, mate.
See you later, mate. Cricket show tomorrow night. Don't forget. Would I partner Pigott with Ladapo? Well, I wouldn't play Ladapo to start with. I wouldn't. Exactly. So it's irrelevant. It is irrelevant. But I think we're just about done here, aren't we, Colin? Because we could talk all night. Who's your man in the match today? For town.
Put on the point. Evans had another very good game. His spray, his pass was good. If he was given the man of the match on 18 minutes, it was Sonny Aluko, without a shadow. I mean, that bloke, he gave everything. That 18, he put in 2 beautiful, what I call beautiful tackles. I'll tell you what, he did everything right in the 90th.
Sonny.
He did everything right in the 98th minute.
Sonny. He
did everything right, everything right.
But you're not giving him, hang on, but you're not giving him man of the match for 18 minutes.
And so I give the man of the match to Evans again.
Sam Morsey for me, again.
Yeah, well, he was not to get a red card today. So I've been told. I don't know.
I'll tell you who I'll give a shout out for. He came on. I thought he'd done well. He done a really good header he won for the third goal. Jackson.
Yeah, he did all right.
He offered more than Ladapo did in that central role.
He did.
And he should have had an assist there. He didn't.
He did well.
We should have been going home with 3 points, Colin. We've got one. We've got 14 points from 6.
Before we finish, Rich, we spoke about this a little bit off air. If we'd have been offered rather before today 4 points out of Barnsley and Accrington, would we have took that?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
so we need to win at Accrington, and we're back on. Back on track.
But I will say you've dropped points in 2 of your 3 home games, and over the season, that's where you're going to get your promotion. So hopefully, when we get Cambridge down here after Accrington and Bristol Rovers, we have to beat both of them teams.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Anyway, right, we're going to close up, Colin. We could be here. We could be here all night. We'll be back tomorrow, 1:30, flagship show. Myself, the Gov, and I think Matt Phillips is showing up on a Sunday. So we will see you all tomorrow.
Ipswich Buses, your local bus company. Don't get stuck in traffic. Ditch the car. Go green. Go contactless. Go Ipswich Buses. Fares available from £2.20 return, a fantastic price and a fantastic service. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk.